Olivia Cuido is an official skincare partner of Miss USA.
Seeing eyes of mine, what do you feel beside? I don't know where we're gonna fly like you did sometimes. Seeing eyes of mine. Love, 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 I wanna be strong, strong. We're doing wrong, wrong, wrong.
Hi.
Hello.
Except 8 o'clock. Oh my gosh. Good evening, everyone. It's
Good
another
evening.
Thursday and it's time for another Who is Socal episode, right? Kuya Ed, Kuya Arvin.
That's
Yes,
right.
Ate Lid. Magandang lalaki po kami sa inyong lahat. Good evening. Kasi si Pogi, kasi Kuya Arvin ang Pogi. Kaya
Naks
nakita
naman
ko
talaga.
Pogi. Bumibigay
Good
tuloy ako.
evening, everybody. And so if you're watching live, #live. If you're watching the replay, #replay. And tonight, Kuya Ed, mga bigatin talaga yung kasama natin
Ang
ngayong
bigat.
gabi.
Hindi ko mabuhat sa bigat. Matitindi to. Todo na to. Yan.
Matitindi talaga yung mga kasama natin tonight.
Yes.
And syempre, lahat sila kaibigan ni Kuya Ed.
Hindi. Kaibigan ko, kaibigan mo rin. Ganun yun.
Yeah,
Diba?
mga musikero ang ating mga kasama, right?
Yan. Pinatatagal pa. Umpisahan na natin.
Umpisahan na natin. Pero bago lahat, syempre gusto natin pasalamatan ang ating mga sponsors katulad ni Olivia Keto Co.
Yes.
Olivia Keto Skincare and Med Spa. And we have Love Alvarez of JJ Cuisine. They make lechon belly. We have Claire Bella of UV Care USA. They make sanitizers and portable sanitizers, which is really timely for this time because we're still in the middle of a pandemic. And we have Johanna Kempski of Resume Writer to the Rescue. So that's her right there. She's the resume hero. And also we have Dave Pabale of Experiment Number 12. And we have James Madamba of Unique Gifts by V. James. And we also have Aldrich Pamisaran of VG Wellness. So if you're looking for health and wealth and lifestyle change, go to VG Wellness. They're a Philippine brand that offers a lot of health and wellness products. And of course, we have the HiFi Hedgehog, which is a unique gifts and succulents gift shop. So, Kuya Ed, umpisahan na ba natin?
Meron pa ba tayong pagkikwentuhan?
Yeah, marami. Pero isama natin ang ating mga bisita.
Yan, sama mo na sila. Best of the best ito.
Yeah, this is the best of the best, right?
Yeah.
According to, Kuya Ed.
Best of the best to.
Yeah, I mean, talagang, wow. Like, I'm like really, okay, ito na. So the first person that we have is Bernard Ellerin. So Bernard is a Filipino-American ethnomusicology, and he's the music director for Samahan Filipino-American Performing Arts and Education Center, promoting Philippine cultural music with artistry and integrity and respect. And as the artistic director of the Pakaragian Kulintang Ensemble, he gives workshops and private lessons on Kulintang music from the southern Philippines. And we can find out more information about Samahan at www.samahanarts.org.
Come on
Hi,
down.
Bernard.
Hello, kumusta po kayo?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Mabuti naman.
Ang
Yeah, so-
pogi.
Oy,
How is everything
Akala ko
with
si
you
Kuya
going
Arvin
up?
ng pogi eh. Number 2 ko na
Wala-
Kuya Arvin.
nakasuot.
Pogi tonight.
Oo.
So how's everything there in San Diego?
Punong abala sa Zoom. Punong abala sa trabaho. So, working remotely at 2 community colleges, and then, Samahan, we're utilizing this virtual platform to teach our dance and music classes since we're unable to gather, since we're all in purple tier.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And the next person we have, so that is so awesome, Bernard. But the next person we have, oh my gosh, like we were just talking about him earlier, and my gosh, he's like the premier jazz pianist that we know. And he's an accomplished keyboardist, and he's been playing all kinds of instruments since he was 13 years old. And he is definitely considered one of the best in the Philippines. And he even had his own show pre-martial law days. So yes, and he was also instrumental in a lot of scoring for a lot of films, and he also has his own band right now, and they've been doing shows, and he just recently completed a show a couple of days ago. So everybody, please hashtag Winston. So let's all welcome Mr. Winston Rabal.
Lol.
Hi, Mang
Hello, good
Winston.
evening.
We're not ready.
Pwede na kayong humiti. Yan.
Kamusta po kayo?
Parang the legendary. No?
The legendary, the one and only Winston Rabal in the house. Hello po.
No, not really. So, yeah, here,
Cheers.
Kapai.
Kampay.
Kampay. So,
Kampay.
kamusta po kayo? Ano pong mga ginagawa niyo recently?
Well, doing the music for the latest movie of Oreo, entitled "The Best of Show." Actually, still in the process of editing, and then I'm going to record the sound 7, and then we'll put everything together.
That is awesome. And we're going to find out more about our musicians' processes a little bit later and how they create music, how they get their creative juices flowing, and all of that. But our next guest, is actually Annie Nepomuceno. She's a singer, vocal coach, concert producer, and she's been on our shows 3 times before. So this is her 4th time in our show. And as a vocalist, musical arranger, music teacher, and concert producer, Annie Nepomuceno has been actively performing and producing over a decade in Los Angeles' mainstream stages. And she has been active making music since she was 8 years old. And so that's the thing that I remember the most. And she has also performed in musical theater, appeared in as a regular in a TV show, and has toured all over the US and Canada as a session vocalist for Filipino artists. So let's all welcome #Annie.
Yay!
Yeah, and Annie is also the president of the Filipino-American Chamber of Commerce Greater Los Angeles. Yeah, so let's all welcome Annie. Hi, Annie.
Yun! Hello, Miss Beautiful!
Mga kaibigan.
Yeah,
Belated happy Valentine's!
Hey, Mang Winston, kumusta? Hi, Bernard.
yo,
Hi, Kuya Ed. Hi, everyone. And of course, hi, Nick.
Hi, how are you
Oh.
doing? Yes. So everybody, we're on Mic Diaz Presents Facebook page. We're on Socal Pinoy's Facebook group, and also at Mic Diaz Presents YouTube channel. And so everybody, for those of you who are watching, please share our video to your friends and family all over the world. So how are you doing, Annie? Long time no see.
I know, long time no see from since this afternoon, was it?
Right, yesterday.
Like that often.
Yeah.
Be nice. I don't know. This is my 5th meeting or online, or not really online, maybe like a meeting for the day.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so talagang busy si Annie sa mga meetings niya. And you also do online classes, right?
Yeah, so some of that was also part of the meeting because it's still a meeting and I can't talk to anyone else. So yes, I still actually was waiting for the opportunity to really do more online teaching. Yeah,
That is so awesome. Yeah, and it's so timely because everyone's doing that now. Like apparently like a lot of our guests are doing online meetings and online classes, right?
Mhm.
And so our next guest is someone who is really, really familiar in the online space and also with equipment, if you will. And so our next guest is Dennis Diaz. He's a musician, producer, vocalist, bassist, and he's also the founder of the Facebook group Pinoy Gearheads of North America. And he is a systems engineer for a high-performance data storage company called Open Drives by day, but he is also music director, music producer, and lead vocalist and bassist of a band called River, and he is the owner of Cybertron Studios. So let's all welcome #Dennis. Everybody.
Yes.
Hi, Dennis.
Yun, galing.
Greetings, hello. I feel like everybody here are legitimate musicians. I'm just an IT guy. I'm just a hobbyist. I'm not as
ayos.
these people in the panel.
Okay lang yan.
Okay lang yan. Pati si Ate Mick, musician din yan.
I'm not a musician.
Oo.
I don't play any instruments. I tried. I
Lahat
tried
yan,
to a
musician.
long time ago. So I just wanted to find out from everybody, what made you become a musician? Like, what inspired you to start playing and making music? Anybody?
Ang babait lahat, walang gustong
Walang gusto
I guess
Let's start with Annie.
Sasabihin ko sana si Mang Winston. Gusto
Si
ko
Mang
na.
Winston.
According to age, from the youngest to the oldest.
Ako nga una. So am I gonna go? So I'll just make it quick. I know Mick keeps saying this, that I started since I was 8 because my mom joined me in choir. And then, oh, you have to read notes, they said, and then, okay, so I take piano lessons. And then it was just something that I always did, I guess. I didn't even think na noon na exceptional yung ginagawa ko kasi, all my friends were in choir. So I thought that's what everybody did. And by the time I was a teenager, I already started teaching the neighborhood kids, and started touring with the Philippine Madrigal Singers. So going all over the world. And then before I knew it, I met my husband, who's also a professional musician, just kept working, just got gigs, I guess, and then just kept going. That's it.
So it
Ako
really
rin,
has been like.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Ako rin, yeah, my mother, she enrolled me in piano lessons. Like every Asian kid, Filipino kid, your mom has you take piano lessons, and I enjoyed it. But then she also wanted me to be aware of my Filipino heritage. So at the time, the Samahan Filipino-American Performing Arts and Education Center, they have a Philippine dance company, a rondalia, and Kulintang ensemble, and so she wanted me to learn rondalia music, and then eventually Kulintang. And then since then, I've been playing traditional Philippine music since the age of 10. And now I have a doctorate in ethnomusicology specializing in Philippine music. So.
Oh my gosh, that is
I
so
actually
awesome.
have a musicology degree too. From UP. Yeah.
You have an
My
ethnomusicology
degree is musicology and composition from UP.
sa UP Diliman po?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But
Kilala niyo ba si Nilo? Si Nilo
yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you worked with him on this piece for the LA Philharmonic. We were there. Yeah, we attended
Yeah.
that concert. Yeah, we're very proud of him.
Yeah. Wow, small world. Small world detail.
Yes, it's a very small world. The music industry is a very small world. Mr. Winston Raval, how did you start playing and making music, and what made you want to become a musician? Winston? Mang
I
Winston?
think I was Eurasian when I was in the womb of my mother. Yeah, I was already a musician in the womb of my mother. When I came out, so I started music then, but I was already improvising, and so my she realized, including my dad, encouraged me to be. Actually, family. Our house was filled with music. So, I grew up with music.
Medyo may technical difficulty doon sa signal nyo, Mang Winston.
Yeah. Yeah, and so let's go to let's come back to Mr. Winston Raval and ask Dennis how he started and what made him want to become a musician.
Check. So it started really very early in my younger days, elementary school. My parents pretty much influenced me because even if they forced me to take piano lessons, I was in the Philippines, or the culture is when you're in a group of friends, you're either in a basketball team and a band. If you're in a group, have a group of friends, it's much cooler if you're in a band or in a basketball team. So I can't play sports, so I just form a band with my friends, and from then on, it's always been playing in rock bands or any kind new wave at the time, and all those things. But yeah, what really influenced me was really my childhood being a musician back in the Philippines. Uh, it may just be hobbies, but it was a lot of fun, and my parents also was very supportive, of course. Yun lang.
That is so awesome. So let's go back to Mr. Winston Ravel. Is there anything that you would like to add to why you started playing and making music?
Yes. Yes, me. Music was, wake up in the morning, I'm piano, and the whole day I never had regular playing with out of the house in music. Uh, so I grew up with music until now. I haven't stopped. I didn't work. I didn't do any work outside of music.
Mhm.
I never just music.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
All the way music, ha? Yun.
And what instruments did you play when you were a kid? Who wants to go first? Anybody?
Well, I played several instruments. Is, uh, is it about me? Yeah, I played several violin, cello, guitar, ukulele, piano. Uh, instrument. It is the instrument pianist. But in later years, like I'm going also and playing guitar.
So you've definitely played a lot of instruments, and it's your experience from since you were a kid, like from playing different kinds of instruments and various kinds of music, right? And so let's go with Annie. Like, what instrument did you play when you were a kid?
Well, aside from playing piano, we had an Indonesian gamelan set in the College of Music. So in children's choir, I had to play it. And then when we were in college, I had to play it again because there was a class that had to play the Indonesian gamelan. It's very similar to the kulintang. However, the kulintang is a single instrument, and you can have an ensemble with other instruments. So when you say a gamelan, it's also gamelan ensemble. It's like a big gong orchestra that was housed in the UP College of Music. So when I was in choir, we aside from singing, we also danced folk dance, and we had to play the rondalla. So we would change after singing, and then we would dance folk dance, and then come back out and then play play in a rondalla ensemble, and then I would play the laud. It's a
Mm-hmm.
bigger type of bigger string instrument than the bandurria, which is the one we know. It was little, and then I was the one who was asked to tune all of them, and each one, each string kind of had like each note had three strings, and before and they're very tight and very very thin. So I would tune them all around all the instruments, and then when I get to the first one I tuned, it's already out of tune because it's like, because the strings have to be pulled really tight, and none of the kids really played all the time. we're gonna take out the bandurria. So, it gets weathered a little bit and then it gets set and then it's out of tune. So that's kind of interesting. But one thing I did not play, which is like every kid used to play this in the College of Music, was the recorder. The I don't know why. I had one. I never remember. I don't remember playing it. I had guitars when I was in high school, but I had a recorder. Like, I don't remember how to play it at all. I'll have to learn it.
You didn't play any kind of wind instrument then?
No, I played the violin for a short time. That didn't work out either. So.
That is so awesome. And I'm really curious, so Bernard, what instruments did you play as a kid?
Yeah, well, interestingly enough, aside from piano, when we were in elementary school, when I was in fourth grade, they had us learn how to play the flutophone, or the equivalent to a recorder. And then alongside like my training in traditional Philippine musical instruments, in junior high school or middle school, they had me playing the baritone horn or the euphonium. And then I dabbled a little bit in classical guitar, and I did that for a couple years. And yeah, but other than that, it's been mainly Philippine musical instruments, but I did dabble in a few things here and there at a young age.
Great.
Let's go to Dennis. So, Dennis, what's your favorite instrument?
When I was a kid, it was mostly keyboard synthesizers, not really the piano. The piano was the one I was dreading, but synth was kind of the instrument that I'm really drawn to because of the bands at the time back in the 80s, like New Order, Depeche Mode, and stuff. That's where I really got into.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm an absolute 80s boy, but as I got older, I also was drawn to the guitar because keyboardists are considered like the nerdy guys who nobody cares about in the band. so it turned out I just picked up the guitar just to kind of look cooler, to be in front of the stage instead of the back. I'm kidding. But that's how, as far as music instruments, it was really synthesizers. And till this day, I am still an enthusiast or kind of like a gear addict when it comes to musical instruments, especially synthesizers. So yes.
So this is a question for everybody. What kind of music influenced you? So a lot of you played different kinds of instruments. What kind of music influenced you, and what particular band or album really made you fall in love with music?
Yun.
I could start.
Anybody? Yeah.
First of all, back in elementary school again, back in the 80s, it was the dawn for me. Jet Pangan's band. That was pretty much what kind of shaped the whole entirety of my music endeavors. It was the dawn, and then British bands like, of course, the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became Metallica after that.
That's so awesome. So, what's the transition to Metallica? Like, what made you move towards metal?
Really, because I just wanted to learn how to play guitar fast. We're not really, my wife and I, we're not really heavy metal fans, but we are Metallica fans. And the way to keep our chops up playing guitar, and because my wife plays drums, a very good drummer, by the way, like pro level, because of Metallica songs from the 80s. When we jam it, it keeps our kind of skill level up here if we just play old school Metallica songs.
That's so awesome. So let's go to Annie. What kind of music influenced you? when you were growing up, and what album or band really made you fall in love with music?
When I was young, I just thought that Johann Sebastian Bach was the coolest guy. Like, how could you write? How could you write? And it's so fabulous. And I would sit there playing his pieces and going like, "Oh my God, how did you think of all these things?" I was so amazed by it. I didn't like to perform them. I played them for myself. That I just thought that the piece was so cool. So this was when I was young, and then when I was in high school, you'll never guess who I transitioned to. I was a really, really big fan of the Bee Gees.
Wow. We just
Yeah, and at that time, absolutely. And at that time, because at that time, nauso yung headphones, so nakikinig ako sa headphones. And I would hear the instrumentation, and they didn't study music. They did not. But when you listen to the records, it's like it doesn't sound like a whole big mess. There's good lines, there's good riffs, and I listened also to Billy Joel and Hall and Oates and the Manhattan Transfer.
wow.
And so I had a transition from classical going to pop rock into vocal jazz, and then I don't know, and then it all mayhem broke out. So it's like, I can't put my finger on what I really do, but in my profession, I would say my specialization is vocal music, because I do vocal arrangements from a choir up to a cappella ensembles, and that's usually what they would hire me to do. So I wouldn't pin myself. And I think my best, my good friends from the company, when they wanted a score that needed to sound they needed a score to sound classical and jazzy at the same time, they're going to ask me to arrange it. So
I wonder what that's like. How do you make music sound classical and jazzy at the same time?
the chords and of course the patterns, and that's basically how you do it. I think, what did I do? I think I made Rock Lobster, the B-52 song.
B-52, huh?
What did I do to it? I don't remember what I did to it. I think I made it classical.
Wow.
I made that classical because they wanted the contrast. So you take the theme, the melodic theme, and then you will add the patterns that are more classical, and to make it more classical, you will want to do stuff and stuff like that. So patterns, chords. I don't know. You have to take music. I can't explain it.
Ate Mick, mag-music ka na. Yan, matuturuan ka ni Ate Annie.
Oh, may schedule pa ako open.
Ayun.
Music theory is really, really hard for me, but I'm sure like Bernard will find it really easy. So what music influenced you when you were a kid?
You know what? Taking music theory and oral training courses, it was a struggle for me, believe it or not. And then I just practice. It takes a lot of practice to recognize intervals, to sight read and do melodic dictation and harmonic dictation. And it's just like practice until you finally get it. And ironically, I'm teaching that course right now at Miramar College, a beginning ear training course. But anyway, so I have a rather eclectic taste when it comes to music. So there's a side of me that's like influenced by the music that I always practice, which is rondalla, kulintang, gangsa percussion. And I would have to say there were 3 like albums I was exposed to between the ages of 10 and 12. So for rondalla music, I love the Bayanihan Philippine Dance Company rondalla. Oh my gosh, because they are so dynamic and virtuosic, and that's just my style, and it's influenced my style of playing. And then I have a reputation for playing ridiculously fast thanks to them on the banduria, those lively melodic riffs. And then for kulintang, the music from my guru, the late Danny Calanduyan, and then this early recording of Jose Maceda, the music of the Maguindanao, extremely influential in like influencing how I conceptualize Maguindanao kulintang music. And then there was this album called Kayao about Kalinga music and Kalinga vocal music and dance, and it just stuck with me. That influenced my indigenous and like my Philippine musical soundscape. But honestly, on a regular go-to basis, I'm into hip hop and R&B, and like you all, I love 80s new wave and rock. I have a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my oldest brother was into Guns N' Roses. My sister
Yeah.
mode and New Order, and then I love some alternative from Green Day and Third Eye Blind.
There we go.
Yeah, so I have the best of both worlds. I balance, being a Filipino with the traditional music I play, and then I am an American on the opposite side of the spectrum when it comes to popular music.
That is so awesome. And were your parents also musicians as well?
My mother played a little bit of piano, and then I have some uncles who were part of combo bands during their college days in the Philippines.
Combo.
Yeah, those combo 50s, 60s bands. So what's interesting, I have an uncle who graduated from Mindanao State University, Marawi, and he was known, he had a reputation for being a part of this combo cover bands of 60s and 70s music.
That is so cool. So Kuya Ed knows a lot about combo bands, right?
Combo A, combo B.
Combo. That is so cool. And so what's your favorite instrument to play? We know you play a lot of different kinds of instruments, from Philippine indigenous instruments to Western instruments. So what's your favorite instrument to play and why?
All of the above, but lately my focus has been on Kulintang music, and I love Kulintang music because it's so lively, upbeat, and flashy, and that's the kind of music I'm into. So yeah, I would probably have to say Kulintang because it's a music you can improvise with, and then if you know the musical vocabulary and the repertoire taught by the master artist in the Southern Philippines, you have a lot of fun with the music.
And what's your least favorite?
Least favorite? I don't know. I don't have a least favorite because everything, all the instruments I've played so far, they're all unique in their own right. So maybe the baritone horn, because they just threw it on me when I was in junior high school.
Have you ever tried a tuba?
No.
Oh my God.
Can you describe to us what is a kulintang for those who doesn't know what kulintang is?
Oh, okay. So the Kulintang is a row of 8 knobbed gongs that are roughly tuned pentatonically. It's a melodic instrument accompanied by larger gong and drum instruments in an ensemble. And it's mainly played by the Muslim societies in the Southern Philippines. And they're part of a larger gongro tradition. Like Ate Annie said, there's gamelan in Indonesia. And so if you look at Mindanao and Indonesia, they're closer in proximity, so they have that circulation of gongro culture. So kulintang is a main melodic instrument consisting of 8 knobbed gongs tuned pentatonically, roughly.
Okay, yeah, that's kulintang.
Yeah, and so let's ask Kuya Ed, what's your favorite instrument to play? Kasi di ba musikero ka rin, you're also a musician, and you play, so what's your favorite?
Sinama mo pa ako rito talaga, oh.
Gusto ko malaman eh.
Gusto mo talaga malaman?
Yeah, syempre curious kami, di ba?
Tapos si Kuya Dennis, pinaglaruan na lang tayo ng Rubik's, yun. Most of their stories, ganun din na istorya ko. Actually, I was forced by my parents, you need to play the piano. Okay. Actually, I don't like to play the piano. Umiiyak pa ako sa teacher ko. She's hitting my hand. Umiiyak ako gano'n. Home service yun. So she comes during the weekends. Right? Tapos, siguro nakita ng parent ko na medyo straight yung teacher ko. Pinag-aral ako Yamaha School of Music. So just like down the, from Quezon City, dun sa kabilang kalye doon, may Yamaha School of Music. So weekends, yan. So, sa school, so they know I play piano during there's yung may mga event doon, like intermission. Minsan ako yung sinasalang doon during halftime or whatever. Minsan may there's poetry. So during break time, like maybe 30 minutes, I play, right? Tapos, we have like music club at school, so I joined them. So I became also a Rondalia member, that Banduria, right? And then there was like a guitar club, so I'm like three of us, and I'm the lead. Yung fret pa ng mga gitara, ang kakapal eh, right? Hindi manipis, acoustic ha, nylon, ganun. And then my teacher taught me how to play the Ventures. Wow, for my age, I played the Ventures, right?
That
So
is so cool.
and then there are like school intercurriculum activities. So we travel there, travel here. Sometimes we go to student canteen with our melodica ensemble, all those like piano that you blow, like that. And then I played the plastic flute at that part. So I played all kinds: flute, rondalia, the piano, guitar. I think a little bit of cilindro, right? Harmonica. You know. So that's my
Di
story.
nalaman din natin kung ano yung story mo. Di ba
Right.
nakakatuwa?
Oo.
Yeah. And then I came to the US, like late 80s. My cousin played in a band. So when he found out I'm here, they're needing keyboard player. So I have a credit card. Oh man, instead of me paying transfer the balance, I ended up purchasing a keyboard player, a synthesizer. So I ended up joining the band. Oh man. So now I got into that synthesizer too. So from then, I got to the band for so many years. And that's the story of my life.
So si Annie naman, what's your favorite? So you also played a lot of different instruments, right? Ano yung pinaka-paborito mo and your least favorite?
Oh, okay. So, my favorite when it comes to instrument would be would be singing kasi madali lang kumanta, especially sa amin. Madali kumanta. Pero I have to play the piano and accompany my students. And when I was young, I remembered, I cannot remember the fingering for the scale. So what do I do later when I play the vocals? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, mi, la, fa. Ended up playing that for forever and ever. My favorite actually was the gamelan because there's some satisfaction when you hit those gongs. And then you go, you play it a different way. It's a different pattern from the kulintang. I actually never played the kulintang because I didn't know what the patterns were. But I would play the lead. I don't remember what you call the lead one. Maybe because I was the most astute one. I wouldn't say I was the strongest one, but maybe because I could lead it more. Maybe musicality was the one that would make me that. So that's one of my favorites. I don't know when I'm ever gonna get to play that again. You have to have an entire orchestra. You don't get that instrument by itself. And I think my least favorite actually was the melodica. I had one of those.
Melodica.
Nakahingal. Diyos ko, tatlong nota pa lang wala na akong hininga. Tapos, hindi naman maganda pakinggan sa tenga. Ano ba gagawin dito? And that long hose made it even harder to put the breath into it. And yeah, so but I had one. I didn't get to use it as much. We just played around with it.
And so so what if you were in an ensemble and you had to play an instrument and it's one of those things that you don't really like. Like, how do you make yourself like it to play it in a show?
If you're working, you'll do it.
Right?
Yeah, if you're working, you'll do it. And I don't think there are any strange requests anyway so far.
Yeah, so you pretty much play the instruments that you like and on a professional basis, right?
Yeah, and sometimes with my tenure with the Philippine Madrigal Singers, I don't recall actually having to play an instrument, but usually okay, who can play this stick? Okay, here's the stick, go play it. I can't say no. Can't say no. Here's another stick, hit it with that other stick, go.
And
they'll give it to you because they know you can do it, and usually it's not that it's not that hard. I mean, they won't give you something that you can't do. I think, when you work with, that's why musicians want to work with other musicians whom they know, because they know what these other people are capable of. So if you need percussion, oh, here's a tambourine, just shake it around. I mean, you're not gonna go give it to someone who probably won't know how to do it.
That is so true. And so what kind of musicians do you like collaborating with? Like so Dennis, like we know you collaborate with a lot of like different kinds of people. So what kinds of musicians do you like collaborating with?
Oh, that's a really good question. Really, what I look for people to collaborate with is their good work ethic. They're very driven and really competitive. And lastly, also, for me, at least in the genre that I do, like with electronic music, I need somebody also who's technically savvy with their DAWs, their digital workstations, and also their ability to record themselves, especially with this pandemic going on. But even before pandemic, it's nice to have people you collaborate with who are technically savvy. So it's easy to with the technology now, you can just pass around music projects and get all these. You have a faster turnaround with getting the tunes finalized. But yeah, I really like what I really need to look for is like with good work ethic and very competitive. If you have that really and the skill, then those are the ones to work with. Yeah, as long as they're logical and has the intelligence and of course no ego.
Tamang-tama si Kuya Arvin dyan.
Yeah.
Yan. Kuya Arvin, ikaw yun.
He's the perfect person for that.
By the way, si Sir Winston mukhang nagkakaroon ng internet
Technical difficulty. Yeah.
So, kaya
And
nawala.
so Bernard, like you're music teacher and professor, right? And you obviously collaborate with a lot of different kinds of people, not just musicians, but also your students and fellow faculty. So what are the different types of people that you like working with, or the qualities that they have? Like what qualities do you like working with? Like, what what kind of people do you like working with?
Usually like-minded individuals who have the same passion and drive as I do for the genre of music that they play, and how they're open and receptive to like working within the parameters of the music I play, and then vice versa. And so yes, it also boils down to attitude and understanding where we're all coming from and having that mutual understanding when we work together. So I've worked closely with some gamelan instructors who are actually my good friends, and then also some other percussionists and jazz musicians as well. And then I've done a lot of work with choreographers who are Philippine dance choreographers as well, who kind of understand the genre of music that I play. So again, yes, it all boils down to having musicians who have a shared mutual understanding and passion for what they do, and they know their material, and they're receptive to different genres.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so let's see if Mang Winston is ready. So Mang Winston,
Mhm.
what kind of
Yes, Nick.
so what kind of musicians do you like working with?
Yeah, of course, my line, I would prefer to play with musicians who are in the same level I am now. But in my experience, a lot of them are still learning or still lacking in knowledge in playing, and so I can adapt. But the most ideal environment I would like to be in is playing with are in the same level as I am in playing.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So it's really good that at least you and other musicians have to be in the same level, right, in order to get that outcome that you want, right? And so can you tell me what your favorite performance is in your careers? So anybody?
I guess I could start.
Yeah.
One of my favorites, actually, it's probably the only favorite I have, is my wife and I played with Metallica about 10 years ago, just a few months after our wedding.
Wow. Okay.
We were contacted by Lars Ulrich,
Oh.
the drummer for Metallica, because he saw our wedding video where we played a Metallica song in its entirety with my wife playing drums. It's a song about heroin addiction, nothing to do with wedding, whatever. So it was a Beatles themed wedding, but it was a curveball. We had to do a Metallica song, so it's more challenging. And a video went viral, and so we were invited to play with Metallica. And that performance, being on stage with thousands of people in the audience, was the most exhilarating and very something that we'll always cherish. That pretty much changed their lives.
Great.
A performance that I hope to achieve again, but this time, hopefully, we're the artist instead of the guest artist.
That is so awesome. So a number of us have seen that video of you and your wife playing with Metallica. And so what has that video done for you? Like, did it you were saying like it changed your life? Like, so what happened after?
We have about 1,000 Facebook friend requests from South America and Australia.
Wow.
But this is a while ago. Something I could brag about maybe for a year after that, but now nobody really cares. But it's it sort of changed because now we have like a whole network of people that are Metallica fans, who became our friends. Mostly until this day, we're still friends with them, and it's pretty awesome. It's also when we go see a Metallica show, or when we get autographs, they remember us. They even signed my guitars. So it's really awesome. Just after that show, it kind of like we even named our kids after Metallica songs.
Wow.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. So meron tayong viewer, si Christers, yung sabi niya, baka kailangan mo daw ng tissue kasi baka maiyak ka. Yeah, I mean that one event was so special, right? Like, oh my gosh, like I saw that video, I was like totally blown away. Yeah, and so let's go with Annie. What's your favorite performance ever?
Buti na lang you didn't ask me first. I'm going like, oh my God, I cannot remember anything. But, since you didn't ask me first, I was able to figure out. There were a couple that were most memorable. I think one that was memorable in the sense of its magnitude was that I was part of the backup vocal team for the ASAP New York. When was that? Like 3 years ago or something?
Mhm.
This is something that we always did. I mean, I always sang backup for big shows such as this. However, the unique thing was that ASAP brought, of course, all the ASAP artists from the Philippines to New York.
Mhm.
Of course, we knew all the band. It's like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in years. You know, because they play like Homer Flores. He would play almost exclusively for ASAP, and I worked with him a lot when I was young. And then they also brought an orchestra. So Gerard Salonga, who worked a lot with my husband being in the orchestra, and it's like what? It's like sometimes in the Philippines you don't even have the orchestra, or either you'll have only an orchestra but not an ASAP band and an orchestra and all the ASAP artists. So we were like, what? Everyone's coming? And I was late for the first rehearsal because of the plane delay. And it's so traffic. Anyway, so that I remember too. And then the most awesome thing was that we were 200 artists in one hotel.
Wow.
So all the fans were like waiting outside, not for us. We could just like walk through. It was no big deal. But when we needed to be taken to the stadium, we were in two tourist bus. Yung tourist bus na malaki.
Right.
We would enter. I forgot the name of the stadium. It'll come to me. But we cannot walk into the stadium and we cannot walk out. We had to enter that kind of like garage thing, and then the entire bus will descend inside the Coliseum. And then when the two buses arrived, we didn't even know who was in the other bus, but we had to go through security. So like, oi, ano, ganto, oi, Carol, oi, Joey. And you can see people, but you can't talk to each other yet. And then since the stadium was so big, we had no idea where other people's dressing rooms were.
Oh my God.
We would only see each other on stage. Tapos, when we go on stage, kasama pala si Pia dito sa show na to. Kasi because she wasn't singing, so we only rehearsed the songs that had singing in it. And then we didn't even know that there was going to be a very long video thing. This entire video wall just came down in front of us and we're like, what's going on? So we don't need to be here. It covered the entire stage and they showed something of Ang Provinciano. Do we go off or do we go on? I guess where's the stage manager? Do we stay? Can we go pee or something? Because it's a TV show, we don't usually get a very long set list if it's a TV show. If it's a concert, we get the set list and we really know what's going to play. So because when it's a TV show, they do it by segment. And it's like, just stay there until you're told to leave. So there was a lot of surprises in that show. So that was really a very memorable experience, a very large cast, very unique situation. And a very memorable one with me was that when it hit me that I was singing Magbalik Ka Na Mahal, written by Ryan Cayabyab, with Ryan Cayabyab accompanying me in a concert. We do this when we gather friends. Mr. C, tugtog ka naman. Tapos kanta kami ng songs niya. But I hadn't realized that I really hadn't sang in front of an audience, paying audience, one of his songs. With just me. Because I had a singing group before. We had a trio. So we recorded his songs. I never really sang in front of an audience with him, and with me and just him. So that was one of my memorable ones.
And so, since we're already asking you what's your memorable one, like, have you ever? So this is one question that I asked our comedians last week. Have you ever died on stage? Like, have you ever had the worst performance of your entire life on stage?
Ako pa rin ba?
Yeah. Since you already told us what your favorite, your most memorable one was.
I wouldn't say it's the worst performance. However, it was kind of like the most horrifying comedy performance. I was in costume. This was for a musical called Rama at Sita in the Philippines, where we had an baby elephant one walking down the aisle. It was a big show. I was supposed to be a monkey in the next scene, but I was like an evil witch thingy before. So when we were doing the choreography in the evil witch thing with my monkey costume underneath, we were doing some choreography that somebody sat on my skirt. So when I stood up, you could see my furry legs, the monkey legs. And it's like, and I went like, oh, look at my skirt. It's lovely. Oh, why is my skirt on the stage? And then the actors, fortunately, they made a joke out of it because there was like one of the actors there who's supposed to be taunting us. So she was like teasing me at the same time and putting on my skirt at the same time. And then I think it's that same night, it threw me off that there was a blackout after a scene, and there were like we had demons that had eyes, so it's like a runway. So when I turn around, I can see how to exit. It was pitch black. I think it's like when I go, why is it complete darkness? So I didn't know how to exit. I actually hit the wall trying to exit. And I felt somebody pull me aside, the lovely Sheila Francisco, my my co-actor, and then she pulled me aside, and we were trying to laugh silently, so hard because we were mic'd, eh. So we cannot laugh. So it's like a lot of, but I will never forget that.
Oh my god. Yeah, so let's see if Mang Winston is. Hi, Mang Winston.
Parang na-frozen yung video
Na-frozen
niya.
siya eh.
Naka-post pa siya.
Pero maganda naman yung post niya.
Ayun, gumalaw.
Hi, Mang Winston.
Okay lang kayo dyan?
Okay, go ahead.
So, ano po yung pinaka-memorable performance
Of course.
niyo?
Oh, I've done hundreds of performances already. In my lifetime,
Mamili lang kayo na isa.
my favorite would be playing in Vietnam with the show band.
Yun.
Yeah, we were there only to experience the Vietnam War. During that time, our group was called Six House. Some guys who came from the University of the Philippines College of Music, and to me, it was an awakening. I experienced war. I have matured because of that experience. For the GIs, there was one base camp near North Vietnam where we stayed for a month, and every night when the GIs come back from the front line, we would entertain them. The blacks on the left, the white on the right, and then we would be playing soul music, any kind of dance music, and then in the middle they fight each other, and there was and that's the kind of experience I had there, and I'm glad I went there. And now, in a concert, I think it comes to my mind was when I played at UC's in San Francisco a few years back, maybe 5 years ago, and I played Ilocano music, Ilocano songs, some originals that I composed with Kulintang and Agong, and we were well received. I think that was a very memorable experience I had. What else?
Ano po yung yung performance nyo na pinaka ayaw ninyo? Was there any performance that you didn't like or that you failed at on stage?
Where was concert that I did with Chuck Berry at the was that Cultural Center or the other one, a Folk Art Center, and our drummer was Edtan Ono, one of the greatest Filipino drummer I ever played. And we played there for 3 nights, and we never got to see Chuck Berry. Um, they had the room. They had the room just as our room. We never got to talk to each other aside from playing. We
Mhm.
just we played we talked through music, through playing music. But I didn't like that because he was snobbish.
Grabe.
I don't know why. He's got a
Suplado.
reputation also.
Oo. Yan ang iiwasan yung mga musikero, ha? Yung snap.
And so,
Snobbish pala.
let's ask Bernard. Tanungin po natin si Bernard kung anong...
Woo!
So what's your most memorable performance and what's the worst one? And have you ever died on stage while performing? You
Or
know, like,
embarrassing moments.
yeah, embarrassing moment.
Yeah.
Let me see. I think the most memorable one that performance I've ever had was so a year after my Kulintang teacher's passing, a group of my colleagues who also play Kulintang as well, they have their own group. It was called House of Gongs, and they formed a full. Every year they started having, or every other year they started having a Kulintang festival called Gongster's Paradise.
That is so awesome.
Yes, and so the year after my Kulintang teacher passed away, so my Kulintang teacher, the late Danny Kalanduyan, passed away in 2016, and then in 2017, my group performed, and prior to that, when he passed away, his granddaughter started taking Kulintang lessons from me to continue her Lolo's legacy. Yeah, and I found out when I had dinner with her family that she wanted to learn Kulintang from her mom. Her mom told me, yeah, Kim wants to learn Kulintang. And then leading up to that Gongster's Paradise, we put together a repertoire and we featured her. And so that was the most memorable performance that I'd ever done was, honoring my Kulintang teacher's legacy by having his direct descendant, his own blood, play in my ensemble. And I played along with her. So that was back in 2017. And I think the worst performance ever. Sometimes I just like to block that memory out and erase it.
Agreed.
Yeah. But I would the worst performance ever. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have to really think about that because there's actually, and like none comes to mind right now, or else I'll get triggered.
You get triggered.
Yeah.
May I
So I'm like thinking like
may I say
like,
something?
Sure.
Yes, Kuya.
Since you mentioned Danny Kalanduyan, I also had a chance of being with him in San Francisco because I met him in the U.S. During a concert in where's that? Concert and I performed at the UOC San Francisco with my band. I this instrument borrowed an agong from him, and the following day I went and we jammed. We jammed over T2 and the other rhythms, and listening to do but it never realized because he died.
Yeah.
That's one thing. That's one regret.
Yeah.
And I love Danny Kalanduyan.
We all do. He was a legend and a pioneer for Kulintang music in the United States. And I still miss him until now.
Life,
Yeah.
That is so awesome. And so, like,
Yeah.
as Bernard was saying earlier, they had Gangster's Paradise, and now I'm thinking, what would Gangster's Paradise sound like using Kalintang, right?
Oh
Oh,
my
that'd be
god.
fun.
That would be
That's a cool
awesome.
name, by the way.
We will probably be playing the Kalintong to like Coolio's theme, like as the bass line.
Right? That is so awesome. I mean, now I want to hear what that would be like. With you playing it. Just kidding. Your ensemble playing it. That is so fun. I mean, that would be so fun. And what accomplishments do you see yourself achieving in like 5 to 10 years? Anybody?
Oh.
Does anybody have any plans?
I mean, once the pandemic is over, once we're all out of lockdown, what are your plans?
Ensemble on
If you're
tour.
asking me,
I want to
Yeah.
take them on a world tour, or even travel back to the Philippines and perform in the ARM region at a festival.
That's
Right.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That is so awesome. Annie, do you have any plans in the next 5 to 10 years?
Future projects.
Future
I would
projects.
say,
I thought Kuya Winston, you were gonna say something. Tuloy niyo na po. Hi, can you hear us? Oh, okay.
Yan,
So-
nag-ano siya eh.
Parang
Yeah, so-
nagme-meditate.
I'm gonna, my concert production went to a halt, but I was already starting to tour more rather than just present here in LA. So I'm not going to rush it, but of course, when the time comes, I hope that we can tour. Actually, there were tours in plans for I think the 4th tour of the Ryan K. Abyab Singers, and then the Acapelago group, they wanted to come here, and I was going to take care of it. We usually have the Philippine Madrigal Singers every 2 years, and then I would do something else in between, which would be a collaboration between the professionals and the kids who are learning stuff. I hope to do that, but I'm taking this time working more on recording. So doing more, and probably doing more instructional Filipino music, because I'm a music publisher, but what I publish is really these complicated choral music. So, and they usually be in demand when it's competition season, and I'll get a lot of calls that, oh, we need this music, we need that music, and all those things. But we would then. I'd like to do more of that recording and doing more scores, music sheets that people can use.
That is so cool. And Dennis, do you have any plans in the next 5 to 10 years, musically?
You're on
Dennis, you're on mute, Dennis.
There you go.
As far as music, I'm still working my band River, where we're still trying to push that forward. We got the pandemic hit a bit, so our traction kind of got derailed. But I've been doing a lot of personal music projects in the EDM space. And I'm also trying to get my YouTube channel up and running, with also a podcast and music gear related stuff. But music, it will still be heavy on music, and I'm still going to pursue some kind of to make a name for myself as a music producer, and mentor younger kids, because now I'm collaborating with people half my age, who are fantastic, already seasoned musicians. But yeah, about maybe a few years from now, it hit a bit, so our traction kind of got derailed. But I've been doing musicians. But yeah, about maybe a few years from now, it hit a bit, so our traction kind of got derailed. But Weird.
Yeah, where did that come from?
That is weird. It's
Yeah.
like hearing myself talk. It's crazy.
Where did that come from?
Someone's small
Yeah,
little
I thought you were. And so now we have people saying they want to hear Gangsta Paradise.
Mhm.
Isn't that cool?
Woohoo!
Yeah, so maybe the next jam sessions will have some gong musicians, some kulintang musicians, right? And hopefully we'll get to have a gamelan come in and do a mashup or something. A mashup. And Gangsta Paradise. So what's the best piece of advice like another musician ever gave you? Like anybody?
If you're ever part of an ensemble, you have to have commitment, attitude, and talent. If neither one of those exists, everything else is useless.
or they'll kick you out.
Yeah. Words of wisdom from the late Danny Kalanduy. And again, I reference him so much, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
if we,
agree.
for example, I grew up with national artist Andrea Veneracion, the founder of Philippine Magical Singers. What she would say is that no one is indispensable. So, you fix your attitude and you have to be on point with your skill because no one is indispensable.
Mm-hmm.
My advice to musicians, especially the younger ones, is
Yeah.
also to be sorry, is to be around more seasoned musicians or wiser people, so you could
You could learn.
you could learn and
Yeah.
they could mentor you and uplift your, not just your music skills but also you as a person. But if you're around those type of people, then you'll move further as far as your music career is concerned, I think.
Oh, we have someone watching from Tokyo. That is so awesome.
Wow, Tokyo.
Hello, Tokyo. Hi to Jake Regala from Tokyo. And so I just wanted to find out, like, do you have other hobbies or interests outside of music? I know everyone's starts out with playing instruments as their hobbies, right? And then you all become like professional musicians. But outside of music and playing instruments, do you have any other hobbies?
Gantillo.
Ganchillo.
Ganchillo.
Crocheting.
Sample. Sweater. Ayun.
That is so cool.
Ah,
It's like a piano. That's why I like
crochet.
those the colors.
Yeah, so Bernard or Dennis, what are your hobbies outside of music?
Bernard, me? Really just not really a hobby, but more of dad duties. Always taking the kids out, after a long day's work, and you also make sure you take care of your family and do your music, and then the other times, maybe other hobbies, maybe not photography, but I'm a really really musician. So it's something I'm really passionate about is learning how to use piece of musical equipment. So that's my other hobby.
Yeah, so you're like the quintessential audiophile, right?
Yeah, sometimes it's get in the way of being an artist, because if you're the artist and you're also kind of the recording engineer and also the IT guy, it's hard, especially if you're on stage and then you hear something not working right, like for instance the guitar player's amp is not sounding good and it kind of kills your performance. So yeah, those things that I'm struggling with being the artist and also
So
like your head.
so let's say you're recording a track like how many takes does it take? I mean, to record a song or record parts of a song. Like for you, like since you're an audiophile and you're into sound engineering, like how many takes does it take?
It all depends. If it's instrumental like drums or guitar or bass or keyboards, you practice and then you record your best performance maybe one or two times, maybe three, and then you just pick the ones you think is best. But for vocals, when you're the music producer, you're producing another artist or recording another artist, and then you could be the shot caller if you say, yeah, that's really good. Or
Mhm.
but if you're also the artist recording yourself, then you'll really get sick of your own voice because you're listening to your voice singing over and over, and then you end up not liking a vowel or some consonant in one section. You record it over and over again. But that's what I struggle with as being a recording engineer and also singing for my own band.
That is so cool. I mean, yeah, so sometimes it gets in the way, right? Like it will take forever because you're the sound engineer, you're the artist, you're the one who's doing all of these production work,
Yeah, the
right?
real way is really to have a producer to be the shot caller and say, you know what, that was really good. That's enough. Or otherwise we're gonna be here all night. But in our case, you could say like we become perfectionists in our own, and we also in our case kind of really don't like sometimes how you sing, and then you just sing it better on another day, or you just have off days or whatnot. And I'm sure the real vocalist in this group can relate. I'm still trying to develop that skill as a lyric writer, because being an instrumentalist is also songwriting is also a different skill from playing the instrument. So, and another skill is singing the song that you're writing that you have to develop, and then recording it properly. So it's a vicious cycle of trying to get it right.
Mhm.
Sometimes it takes a year or two to even finish a whole album.
And so where do you see like Filipino Americans in the music industry? Has there been any change in terms of perception of Filipino Americans in the industry? Because I know like all of you represent different areas of the music industry, right? But is there any kind of difference now that we have more representation? Is there more work coming in, or are we being more recognized out there? What do you see out there in terms of the music industry and where you guys are in your different areas?
There's diverse subgroups or subgenres, or I would say subcultures that are being formulated. There's the YouTube sensations, there's the mainstream ones that are ending up in the Billboard Top 50, and then there's also the indie and then the underground hip hop and alternative scene that's taking place. And then there's also, traditionalists as well. But yeah, I think now through mainstream media and social media, we're starting to gain more of a presence, I would say. But it's still like all over the place.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Easy Mill actually got it got it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the availability is way different than it was before, and now it's driven by taste. Nowadays, I used to listen to the top 40 because it was on the radio and there was a show and I could hear what it was. But probably if I could have heard a lot of independent musicians by that time, maybe the Bee Gees would have not been my favorite artist at all. So there's really a change in the delivery of music. And then when it comes to, the fan base can either be like too spread around, or that there's like Bernard said, there's a subculture that's growing somewhere, because it's really driven by those who appreciate whatever music is put out by anybody. So, but I would say because I really, really work with Los Angeles County Commission for Culture and Arts. because I want the Filipino to be represented. So which is why I used to go in partnership with the Ford Theaters and have shows there all the time, because their concern is the diversity of the ethnic landscape of Los Angeles. So they seek representation from everyone who's in LA. So I really made it a point that I would have something there. So one time I featured Mon David, had the Harana Men's Chorus, I had the Philharmonic, and I think last one was all the female singers with me, Odette Quesada, Louis Reyes. So just and with the Kayamanan ng Lahi, and another dance group. So just trying to bring everyone together. We still need that exposure, and I think we need support. We need fan support, but they wouldn't know what to support if they don't see it. You know.
We need a Filipino-American Coachella.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Agreed. Yep.
Yeah. I know FPAC does a great job, and then
I was gonna say
here in San Diego we have the Samahan Filipino-American Performing Arts and Education Center. We have a Philippine Cultural Arts Festival where we try to invite different artists to perform. So our festivals are out there. It's just need better promotion and then sponsorship.
We need a champion to get the funding.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, agree.
Yes.
That's the topic of our conversation.
Yes, that's always a top topic, right? Like number one topic is funding. How do we get funding so that we can show all of our different visual and performing arts? And I do have one last question. And before I ask everybody, I just wanted to tell the viewers we do have a raffle that's going to happen really soon. So if you guys want to join the raffle, #iDream, that's the hashtag. And so my last question is, what would be your advice for our viewers who want to be musicians or who want to follow their dreams? Because a lot of times in our parents' generations, it's always about becoming a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer, or something else other than pursuing what we like, right? So what would be your advice?
Who is brave enough to start? Oh, okay. So since I started talking, maybe I should just go talk.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, usually whenever I'm asked about anything in that subject, I will always say learn how to cope, because coping covers everything. If you suck, practice. Cope. You have to cope with the situation. If you don't blame other people because you suck. If in case there's a difficult situation where you can't memorize a song or whatever, you just have to cope with it. If there is usually in production there are issues, let's say people are late, you just have to cope. And and I always believe that anyone who's really a good musician doesn't need any extra assistance like substances and stuff. If you need that, you're not coping. You can't deal with it. Probably is what I mean. Well, I know everyone's gonna get mad. Maybe just a little, so you can be a little happy. But I would say you're not supposed to rely on it. You can't be creative because of something.
Mm-hmm.
You're creative if you're creative, and usually it's just because you can't cope with the situation that makes you blame people for other things. It's really on you. And I wish that parents would support their kids, because music is just good for their soul and their heart. And if you have a well turned out kid, they will fare in life better. It doesn't mean that they will all become superstars or all musicians, but just having a skill in music will turn them out better.
Anyone else? Any advice for our viewers?
Advice for the viewers, I would say if you want to pick up an instrument, if, let's say you're still a beginner or you always wanted to learn how the guitar or the piano, ask somebody from Socal if they know a teacher or who has the time. But it's never too late, no matter how young or old you are. Just have the passion and the willingness to learn it, and the patience. That's really, I feel, all you need to become good at a particular instrument. So that's all I have to say.
Anyone else?
Definitely stick with your passion and put all of your heart into it. And the more you practice and the more you put all your heart into it, people will notice you. People will notice and you'll be recognized for all the work that you do.
That is so awesome. And Kuya Winston, Mang Winston, do you have advice for our viewers? Na-frozen na talaga siya.
By the way, will there be a where you can ask your fellow artists here questions?
Yeah, you could. Actually, you can.
After this, or I'm not sure.
Oh, you can ask them during the show, right? Or you want after?
Yeah, that might be better offline.
Okay. Okay, I wonder what that is. Okay. Yes, and so are you guys ready for our raffle? Because I know someone is. I know Arvin's ready for our raffles. So
Excited na si Wifey.
towards the end of the show we have raffles. And I know like one musician that we have is going to raffle off one CD. And so our first prize, let me just tell everybody, our first prize is one resume service, which is a $90 value from Johanna Kempski of Resume Writer to the 2D Rescue. So she's an HR professional and she does resume service, and she can look over your cover letter and your LinkedIn profiles. And her name is Johanna Kempski. And so you can reach out to her directly on Facebook or Instagram at Resume Writer 2D Rescue. And our second prize is one choice of Crafty DIY kit from James Madamba of Unique Gifts by V. James. And that's a $35 value. And you can choose either one of those designs. And oh my gosh. Okay, so raffle prize number 3. Whoever gets this has to be the luckiest person, because look at what you're getting. You get 1 dozen chocolate crinkles, 1 tiramisu cup, 1 brazo de Mercedes cupcakes, 1 Ferrero cup for actually that's a $37 value. From Day Pabale of Experiment number 12. And then our fourth prize is from a fellow musician. His name is Luigi Seno. This is his very first CD. It's called Stay in Love. And it's a $12 value from the Seno Family. His dad is Chito and his mom is Helen Seno. And Helen Seno is a musical director at her church in Riverside. And Luigi Seno is now known as the first Asian to do Afrobeat. So he has new stuff coming out. He actually has a YouTube channel, Luigi Seno. And yeah, oh my gosh, like if you hear his stuff, you'll be really amazed. The fifth prize that we have is 1 bottle of Moringa capsules. That's a $25 value from Aldrich Famisaran of VG Wellness. And if you want health, wealth, and longevity solutions, go to their website, healthwealthlongevitysolutions.com, and VG Wellness on Facebook as well. So our sixth prize is a raffle in collaboration with the Team Sari Sari raffle. So the Sari Sari Filipino group is having a raffle, and it's their Bayanihan campaign raffle. And so I joined it. So this one is from me. It's from the HiFi Hedgehog gift shop. That's my online gift shop. We sell succulents and awesome, unique gifts like this makeup blender cup with reusable straw. It's a metal straw, and you can choose the flavor that you like. We have pink lemonade, berry, mocha latte, and matcha latte, and that's a $15 value. And the seventh prize that we have is actually a gold sponsor advertisement package on our shows. That's the Mic Diaz Presents. So right now we have 3 shows each week. So we're giving away a gold sponsor advertisement package, and that's a $30 value. So we have a show on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So are you guys ready?
Let's get it on.
Are you guys ready for the raffle? How awesome.
Yeah.
Arvin,
Right.
are you ready with the
Yep.
Wheel of Fortune?
Yep, gonna share my screen. Hold on a sec. There we
Make sure
go.
nandyan yung
Ah,
That is so awesome. So this is raffle prize number 1.
okay, here we go.
good. Ah, yay! Buena mano for my lovely wifey.
Oh my god. Lenny Geronimo, congratulations. Congratulations. You won $190 resume review from Johanna Kempski of Resume Writer 2D Rescue. And our second raffle is one choice of Crafty DIY kit from James Madamba. And so you'll get the entire kit right there. And you have a choice of either design. Okay, let's do this.
All right,
Are you
here we
guys ready?
go.
Are you guys excited?
Ate Shek! Woohoo!
Congratulations to Shekinah, Austria. Congratulations.
Yes.
And so everybody, like those raffle winners, will put you in a group chat together with the raffle sponsors so that we can determine if we're going to be picking up or delivering or shipping your raffle prizes. So the third raffle prize is from Pabale of Experiment
Uy.
number 12, and that's
Wow.
1 dozen chocolate crinkles, 1 Tiramisu cup,
Sarap.
1 brazo de Mercedes cupcakes, and 1 Ferrero cup. And that's from Experiment number 12. Here we go.
Di na pwede sumali. Sayang.
Rhapsody. Oh! Ate Ann via hairline.
Ate Ann Mariano Moran Turiano Benaventura is the winner of raffle number 3 from Day Pabale of
All right.
Experiment number 12. And the fourth prize is 1 CD from... Someone has a call?
And the phone call.
Hello. You're live.
Someone's calling us? Yeah, because so this one is 1 Stay in Love CD by Luigi Seno, which is a $12 value from the Seno Family. So we actually have a phone line that people can call. That's why I'm like, is someone calling us? Are you ready, Arvin?
All right, let's do it. Oh, no, Jennifer.
Jennifer Alfonso Lee, you won a CD from
Nice.
Luigi Seno, which is actually, yeah, this one right here that I have right here. Yeah, it's an awesome CD. And actually, the saxophone player of South Border played on one of those tracks, on the very first track in that album. Yeah, so nandun si Rick Hunasa. And let me see. So the next prize is 1 bottle of Moringa capsules from Aldrich Framisaran of VG Wellness. And you can find all of the information about their products at www.healthwealthandlongevitysolutions.com.
All right, here we go.
Gemma Cruz Bergstrom. Congratulations, Gemma.
From FACC GLA.
From
Hi, Gem.
FCC. Congratulations.
Congrats.
And our raffle prize number 6, and this is a collaboration with Team Sari Sari Raffle. It's one makeup blender cup with a reusable cup and metal straw from me. That's my store, the HiFi Hedgehog. Yes. And it's a $15 value, and you can choose the flavor that you like. Berry berry, matcha latte, mocha latte, or pink lemonade. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Awesome. This is raffle prize number 6.
Woohoo!
Congratulations, Dorothy Pasamba. Oh my god, you're so lucky. So congratulations, and raffle prize number 7. So whoever wins this, either have to be a business owner with something that you're
Something to
selling,
sell.
or to advertise. So it's a one gold sponsor advertisement package for a $30 value. That's 3 shows for 1 week. So let's do this. This is raffle prize number 7.
All right, here we go.
So Mylene Canteras, congratulations. Congratulations to all of our winners. We'll be putting you in a group chat so that we can determine how to fulfill your raffle prize. Yes, congratulations, everybody. And to our guests, thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for
guys.
spending your time with us and sharing with us your wisdom and all of your experiences on being musicians, and how each of you uplift the Phil-Am community in your own way as musicians. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And do you have any last words for our viewers before we all go?
I'm hungry.
Me too. I'm hungry just seeing the cupcakes.
Gutom na ako.
Maybe shout outs?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, just hi to my kids who are watching downstairs.
Hi.
Hi,
And
kids.
my friends who are watching as well. Shout out to all of you, my band, River, Dale, and Francis, and the people that I've collaborated with. And thank you again, Mick, for inviting me with this panel, because I feel like I'm the only one who's not legit. But I like to become friends with everyone, because I want to talk to Henny and also to Bernard. And
Sure.
we
With
will
stuff, you're legit.
Too legit to quit that.
Thank you. This is a really great show that you have. Thank you so much for
So
inviting me.
thank you so much, everybody. And once again, let's all thank Annie. I know the Filipino-American Chamber of Commerce is having their anniversary conference soon on March 17th. So that's something that we should all look out for.
Yay.
And Annie and I are actually collaborating on a show. So that's going to happen really soon. Yeah, that's coming up really soon.
Tomorrow?
And thank you so much.
Yeah, that's right.
Tomorrow. No, like 2 weeks from now. And thank you,
That's
Bernard. Yeah, thank you, Bernard, for we look
Thank
forward to
you.
your gongsta paradise. A
Yes.
lot of people are asking now.
Sali ako.
It's so funny.
I'll let you know about our performances and our festivals in Samahan. We have a few coming up. Sana in person tayo.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Before the end of this year or in the middle of this year, sana.
Yeah, I'm actually excited because I like kulintang music and gamelan music. Yeah, I'm really into that stuff. So, yeah, someday, hopefully, cross my fingers, we'll feature that in the show. Yeah. And of course, thank you so much to Dennis for being with us. And I think we lost
Idol.
Mang Winston. Yeah, so thank you so much to Winston Raval also. Thank you so much.
By the way,
Yeah.
Dennis, I'll say hi to Jet because he's your idol, huh? He's my batchmate, actually.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Classmate ni Kuya Ed.
Really?
Hindi kami naging classmate. Iba section siya, pero batchmate kami nun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so once again, thank you so much, everybody. And don't forget, tomorrow at 8 o'clock, we have the jam sessions. Same time, same place here at Mic Diaz Presents. And tomorrow we're having a hip-hop show. And we're featuring Robert Perez, Claire Perez, his wife, and Alex Williams trio. So they're a trio, and they're going to be doing lo-fi hip-hop. And we're featuring some of our black brothers from our from the East Coast and the South. So we have Creative Mindframe, who's he's a saxophone player and rapper. But one thing new that just happened a couple of days ago, he's actually going to be an American Ninja Warrior. So that's something that he's doing. Yeah, that's like awesome. And we have Kadesh Flo, who's a trombone player and rapper. And our headliner is going to be Substantial, who's actually the ambassador for hip hop for the U.S. State of Secretary of State, and he has been in several of Nujabes's albums, and so Nujabes is considered one of the godfathers of lo-fi hip hop, along with Jay Dilla, and so they're gonna be performing. And they're all part of the Nerdy People of Color Collective. And their advocacy is to really have more representation in the animation industry and the video gaming industry. So they're going to be performing for us in honor of Black History Month and to celebrate the life of one of the godfathers of lo-fi hip-hop, because it's his death anniversary next week. So that's something that we're doing tomorrow. And so at Mic Diaz Presents, we always feature people from our Philam community, as well as musicians and performers from all kinds of places, from different areas and backgrounds. So once again, thank you, everybody, and see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Thank you,
everyone. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
Ba yan?
Oh,